back. My next guest has appeared in the films The Mummy, The Mummy Returns, and Enemy at the Gates. Currently, you can see her with Keanu Reeves in Constantine. Please welcome the lovely Rachel Weisz. So much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Your hair is so... Is this for a roll?
It's all gone for a roll, chopped off.
Very nice. Yeah. It's very cool, though.
Short.
Yeah, very nice. Now, I want to ask you a little bit about your personal life. That's part of my job.
Okay, go ahead.
I know that you're not married. You've been on the dating scene, you know, fairly recently, or not so recently, but you've been out there, and you've found that the U.S. concept of dating is different than the British version. Is that true?
It's very true. To begin with, in Britain, we don't date. It doesn't exist, the word, the concept.
What do you mean? There's no such thing as I want to take you out for a date?
No, we would never say that. A man might say to a woman, or a woman might say to a man, because it's 2005, so women can ask men out too.
Right.
Would you like to go for dinner or go to the movies? But we would never say date. And so it would be very mysterious. It could be, does this guy just want to be my friend, or is he interested in being romantically involved? And you never quite know. It's very mysterious until...
So you could be married to someone for years and never really understand what's happening. I love that idea. Yeah.
No, there comes a moment where you have the discussion.
Where someone can say, we've been out to have...
5 meals. Three movies.
And I have considered this to be a romantic situation.
Yes.
And then but that would be very awkward for the other person, I would think, wouldn't it?
Well, it depends on how they feel. It might be a relief. They might say, I'm very glad you brought this up. I also feel this way about you, and I'm glad that we're now... We call it going out. You're going out with somebody.
Right. So, but when... It just seems very strange. But you could go out with somebody on the first date, and then so nothing's going to happen because... Nothing's
going to happen. But, Conan, what seems strange to me is that in America, it seems to me that you can date lots of people all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. USA. No, but one of our country's great inventions, I believe.
It's a very interesting concept, because in England, that would be called two-timing.
Right, but here you've screwed yourselves over, because you're saying you go out on these dates where you just, like, have, you know, I don't know, bangers and mash or whatever, and and there's no talk of it being sexual at all, but then you're not allowed to go and see anybody else either, so...
No, until you don't have to talk about it being sexual, but you can just be sexual.
Well, that's a huge risk, you know? That's a huge risk. If you're chatting with someone and they think you're just, you know, like, oh, it's my accountant, we're just having a discussion, and all of a sudden he's like, ah! You know, that's scary, I would think.
Well, I think the mystery adds to the kind of eroticism of the English going out with each other system.
Sure. Well, it's working for you guys. What kind of, if I'm not being too, what kind of guys do you like? What's your type? Do you have a type?
Well, I have been with one guy for nearly 4 years, and I would say, if he had a type, it would be a geek.
He's a geek?
Yes.
Does he like it when you say, oh, I like geeks like this guy? I mean, does he, you know, look at you angrily over his comic book? No. That wasn't kind!
No, what he says over his comic book is, I'm not a geek, I'm a nouveau dork.
Nouveau dork.
Yes.
See, I wish there were cool distinctions like this when I was a geek.
Yeah.
Before I became a jock. Anywho, so nouveau dork, that's nice.
He's a nouveau dork. I like guys who aren't ashamed to bring out their goofiness and their silliness in front of large groups of people.
Right.
So
it shows great. I think it shows great
strength of character,
strength, masculinity.
Absolutely. I think what most people think of as cool, like men who sit around, you know, being cool.
Right.
I don't think that's
cool.
That's
not cool.
It's not cool.
It's cool to act like a fool and a geek.
I agree.
I agree
it's
too.
It's the new cool. It's my cool.
I'm going to start doing that soon. I'm going to start acting foolish in front of people. Well, that's nice. That's good. I think that's good for... There's probably some nerds at home watching right now who think that's great. Rachel Weisz thinks...
He's also a redhead. My
what do you mean, also a redhead? We're talking about dorks and geeks.
Sorry.
You should say, and the one thing he has in common with you is your hair.
That's the only
that he's also a redhead.
Sorry,
That's
excuse
great.
me, excuse
That's
me.
nice. Well, this segment's over.
His hair and his height.
Right.
We share, but he's not a jock like you.
We're going to edit this and only use that part and repeat it, yeah. All right, I wanted to ask you quickly about, this is something that the movie Constantine is out right now, and this is it's kind of a different movie. There hasn't, quite, I don't think, been a movie quite like this. Do you want to describe it for us? Because it's sort of, well, you go ahead. It's using religious themes, but in sort of almost a private detective thriller way. Isn't that right?
Yes, it has a noir tone, and it is a thriller, but it's also supernatural. But it is housed within these great big religious themes and ideas about heaven and hell and purgatory.
Right.
And it's very exciting, and I think it is unusual.
But you watch some of it and you think like, well, this is sort of like the classic detective genre, but using these, which is I think a neat idea, using these spiritual, theological ideas. We have a clip here. Is there something that you can tell us about it that sets it up?
Well, Keanu and I, in this noir detective kind of a way, are trying to investigate the demons that are trying to break through into Earth, and then suddenly I get pulled through a building.
That old chestnut. All right.
That old chestnut.
That again. All right, let's take a look at this clip from Constantine.
By a demon.
Stains on the spear.
Yeah.
So he gets the spear. He still has to locate a powerful psychic.
Not really.
Twins.
Where's the amulet?
I don't know, I must have left it in the...
What's wrong?
I don't know, I just feel...
That's cool. Keanu reacts so quickly, too. That's not me, I like how quickly Keanu Reeves reacts in that scene. You're pulled through a wall, and he's like, I better go after her.
Yeah, he's not surprised.
I would just be like, she was pulled through a wall! Wow! And then hours later, shouldn't you go get Rachel Weisz? She was pulled through a wall! Well, that's why I'm not in those films. Constantine is in theaters now. Rachel Weisz, thanks so much for being here. Rufus Wainwright coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, everybody, fine show tonight. Fine show coming up tomorrow night from the movie Cursed. Christina Ricci is going to be on the program. Actor, comedian Artie Lang will join us, and musical guest Ian Brown. So watch that show. We'll be right back. Rufus Wainwright is here. We'll see you in a second.